Welcome to the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Radio Show. My name is Bruce Woodburn. I'm the Lone Ranger alongside Cleve Loveland of Loveland Properties. Cleve has been in the real estate business longer than anyone that has ever lived on the face of the earth and had the longest running radio show
in the world.
I
think so.
For anyone. So that's a pretty grandiose statement.
How much I get paid to do that show is another question.
It is another question.
I've been in negotiations with corporate for about 20 years now. They still don't see it my way. But anyway, Bruce, we're in the holidays. It's funny. I hear some people talk, and I know it happens up north if they're fighting snowdrift, sales slow down. Sure. But I am having my best fourth quarter ever. And it's like people are calling me, and the funny part about this market, it's good. And it's still doing well. Seller's market, less than a month of inventory. Inventory's holding steady at the same number of homes, about 3,300 homes for the last 7-8 months. But I have people calling me now that were listed and don't know why they didn't sell. Right. Their listings run out, and they're calling me going, hey, I don't know what happened. And I'm going out to see them, and I'm like, the problem to me is staring me straight in the face. They didn't have a good marketer working for them. They didn't have a good stager working for them. They didn't have a realtor that knew experience. They just kind of picked a pie-in-the-sky price and weren't told all the parts of a sale, the important parts of getting the house ready. And they also weren't quite ready for what's going to happen next. The other house, they're wondering about how they're going to get the next home. They weren't told about the process. And that's what we do at Loveland Properties. You can't click a button on a computer screen and figure out, how do I sell my house, buy the next home, but I might need a lease back. They won't take my offer. You can't do that unless you've got some experience.
A lot of people think it's a lot easier than it really is, and that, hey, what do I need a realtor for? I can just put my house on the internet and sell it, right?
Because we'll get you about 20% more.
Well, first of all, 90% of homes that go for sell by owner end up selling with a real estate agent.
Yep.
We already know that's a national fact for the National Association of Realtors. However, you could sell your home for sale by owner, but let's talk about the pros and the cons, okay? So could you actually save a real estate commission? If you were able to get a full price offer, you might save a real estate commission. All right? So let's say we have no fake news. We're just going to do it. We're going to lay it all out there. Here's the cons. Who's coming through your house? Okay? Who's coming through your house?
I really don't know.
You have no idea. Here's another thing. When you go to a real estate professional, what's the first thing the realtor asks you for? Do you have a pre-approval letter?
Yep.
Can I see a copy of your pre-approval letter?
Yep.
Then you would call the lender and ask them questions. Now, if you're selling for sale by owner, you don't have anybody to do that.
Well, that's the thing. You could ask the buyer that, and they might go, well, that's offensive. I'm not letting you know my
personal
financials. Or the
buyer just gives you a bogus pre-approval letter.
And I've had that happen, too. I had one a couple months ago. I got listed, and turns out they found out at the very end, the buyer had said they were going to buy their home, wasn't trying to buy their home, was trying to sell the contract for $30,000 more to an out-of-state investor.
Right.
Because he learned that in some real estate seminar.
Right.
That he paid a couple grand
seminar,
for.
Right.
So anyway.
An assignable contract. Yep. So listen, here's the thing. If you're going to have surgery, go to somebody that's done the surgery a lot of times before. Mm-hmm. Don't go to the doctor that's never performed the surgery before. Yep. You don't go to a dentist to get knee surgery.
Yep.
Right. You go to a real estate agent that's got the experience, the time-tested experience, and then you're going to get the right results. You get what you pay for.
Yep, you do. And literally, Bruce, it's funny because like all the lenders out there, your rates are all about the same.
They're all about
the same.
Yeah.
But what isn't the same is the experience of the person looking at and gathering all the information. And one thing you guys are relentless at, when a buyer gets you everything you ask for, and you ask for 5 to 10 different things, whatever you might ask for, and then you look at that and say, I need a couple more things. When you guys are relentless in getting that information in, and where other lenders are like, oh, looks good, I'll deal with this later on.
Right. And
that's what causes trucks in the in the driveway,
well,
and nobody closing, and we don't know what happened, and the file's still in underwriting.
You have a good point. You have a very good point, because what happens is, and I have had clients say, hey, listen, Bruce, I got pre-qualified by another lender, and they didn't ask me for near as much documents. That is the first sign that your deal is probably going to fall apart, because you have to get the documents up front. We all need the same things.
Yeah.
Like the documents that I need are no different than Bank of America or Rocket Mortgage or Wells Fargo or you name your company. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac set the guidelines. The bank doesn't make up what documents they're gonna want. Now, the interpretation of the documents can be a little different, but get the documents up front. Is it a little bit more of a headache to get everything up front? It might be. Will it protect you and save you later on? Yes. And once I've got your documents, then you can enjoy the experience with you, the real estate agent. You know, I look at being in the mortgage business is completely different than Cleve's job of being in the real estate business. So listen, here's Cleve. Cleve gets to sell you the beautiful neighborhood with the summer kitchen, the brand new countertops, the beautiful backyard, the fenced in so your kids and your dog can run around. Here's what Bruce has got to do. Hey, listen, I got to talk to you about that short sale that you had a couple of years ago, right? Okay, I noticed there's a collection on your credit report. We got to go over that. Okay.
Yeah, credit
By
card
the way,
for,
you were divorced. I need a copy of the divorce.
Yeah.
So listen, it's good cop, bad cop, but you have to have both.
But the difference is, I love your fast track system. When you get all that information from somebody and you can say they're fast tracked, that's priceless when that buyer you're working with, and I have that buyer, and they're going up against 3 or 4 other offers. And that's what's just
my buyers win
unbelievable.
the winning offer more than most lenders too. If you would like to talk to me, you want to get pre-approved for your financing, you want to stop renting and become a homeowner in 2022, pick up the phone and call me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or visit my website at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. Cleve, how do they reach you?
407-352-8118 for one of the busiest agents in Central Florida.
And do you have a website?
I do. CleveLoveland.com or LovelandReport.com.
All right, that's great. Now, one other thing I want to mention quickly is that next week, next Friday night, I am the proud sponsor of the K92.3 All-Star Jam.
Oh, cool.
All right. And it's going to be an amazing event. There's 7 country artists showing up, Jake Owens being the headliner of the whole thing. It's an intimate event. It's not like a giant concert. It's more of an intimate event. It's going to be at the Additions Arena at UCF. And I happen to have 2 pair of tickets that I'm going to give away to my callers. But you have to text me at 407-250-9144. The Lone Arranger. You text the Lone Arranger to that phone number, and I'll put you in a drawing. I'm giving 2 pairs of tickets away.
Sounds like a good time.
The event. Yep, it's going to be a lot of fun.
No, I'm not really a country music guy.
No, you're not.
Do you guys have a mosh pit there?
Yeah, there is a mosh pit.
There's a country mosh pit.
It's in the men's room in the back of the arena.
I'm a little more heavy metal hard rock,
right?
So a little 80s rock.
But so another thing that I wanted to mention that I thought was really good news is that we got the announcement yesterday that FHA has raised their loan limits to $420,680.
Like 3 years ago, they were 300, weren't they?
They were 350, and they're 358 right now. I mean, this has gone up a considerable amount.
Yeah.
So, but what does that do for an individual? How does that come into play? Well, if you don't have excellent credit, an FHA loan is a great alternative that still offers really attractive interest rates.
Yeah.
They also allow you, like I don't have credit score requirements on my FHA loans.
Yeah.
I don't. Most lenders do 620, 640. Some will go as low as 620. I don't have a credit score limitation on my FHA loans. I am direct lender. I underwrite it. If I got an approval, you're going to close. But here's what that does for a client that's running in the $435,000 purchase price. You can get an FHA loan now for 3.5% down.
Yeah.
At $435,000.
So let's say with your cost, you're probably, it's hard to get sellers to pay costs in this market. So let's say you're about, less than 6% down. You're $20,000, $25,000. You're into a beautiful home.
You're into almost a $500,000 house.
I mean, 2 years ago, if you had $300,000, I'm like, we can get you a house.
Right.
I can get you a house now, but it might not be that great house. It's going to be a starter home. Might be too small. I was just talking to one of our good buddies. Our old, actually was the air conditioning guy. Now he's our car guy, Rory. And Rory was talking about he's got 4 kids, and they're in a house where there's 6 people in 1,500 square feet. And I'm like, you need a new home. He's going to watch our seminar on wealth building on how we do the leapfrog process. Rent the old house, buy the new one. But it's a great way to get in. And we figured the payment on that too, right?
About $2,750, including taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, everything, $2,750 on a $438,000 house.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, but I'm guessing that because all the news is out, the rents are going up, right? I'm guessing that on a house that's $438,000 that you would rent would probably be about that same rent and going up. I don't know. I know the average rent is running around $1,600, and that's for like a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get your own home and own your own home at the same price that you're going to pay for rent payment.
And I know our appreciation's been on fire, so that house you buy for $420, it's not going to be $480 by the end of the year, but it's going to be $480 within 4 years, 3, 4, 5 years.
Even if it's going up 3% per year. Now we're doing what, 15, 20%?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you had a $438,000 house and it goes up only 3%, that means it's going up almost $16,000 per year at 3%.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's $31,000 at 6%.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Right now, I don't see us going less than 6% right now. Do you?
I don't see it slowing down.
I don't see it slowing down. So even at 6%, so you're going to make $31,000 in a year, more than likely in appreciation, and your cash out of pocket was about that much.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little bit less.
No, it only makes sense to get your new home. If you already have a home, great. You took the first step. Now let's have to take the second step. Let's make you a landlord this year. We'll talk more about that after the break.
We can do that on the next break. If you'd like to reach Cleve, he can come in and do a personal evaluation of your house, tell you how to stage it, how to get it ready for sale. You can reach Cleve and his team at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. or cleveloveland.com. If you have questions or you'd like to get approved for your financing, you want to check out refinancing, how to get rid of PMI, or how to buy a home in 2022, which is my theme. I'm super committed to helping more first-time home buyers than I've ever helped in my entire career in 2022. You go to WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com, or you can call or text me at 407-250-9144. And don't forget, if you're trying to get tickets to the All-Star Jam on Friday night, then you're going to need to text me, the Lone Arranger, at that same number. Now, when we come back from the next break, I want to talk a little bit about, Cleve, about helping people that may want to become real estate investors. And I don't mean these seminars where you pay $800 or $1,500 on a weekend and they show you how to buy a house with no money down and it doesn't really work, right? How to really do it and have success doing it, where you're having other people create wealth for you so that you can retire wealthy.
Love my tenants.
I want to talk a little bit about that, because as rents are going up, what's happening is, if you are becoming a landlord, you have a built-in pool of guaranteed renters. Yeah. And you can be more selective because there's a lack of rental properties out there.
Yeah, there definitely is. It's actually, that inventory is tighter than the homes for sale, just about.
Absolutely.
And you look around, I mean, Orlando's going to keep growing. We've got no boundaries. We're just going to keep sprawling.
We're going to go from Daytona to Tampa,
yeah,
and back around through Yeehaw Junction or someplace. I don't know. All right. So, again, if you'd like to reach Cleve, call him at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. Or go to cleveloveland.com. For the Lone Arranger is 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. Love to help more first-time home buyers in the year 2022. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of Cleve Loveland and the Lone Arranger Radio Show.
And we are back on Central Florida's only most listened to real estate radio show, Loveland Report and Lone Ranger show, where you get all your real estate and mortgage news. I am Cleve Loveland, here alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. His first mortgage, he chiseled it out on the tablets right next to Moses on Mount Sinai. Is it Mount Sinai? I don't even remember.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway,
and included the burning bush.
We appreciate you tuning in here to listen to us, giving us part of your Saturday, and just want to talk about the crystal ball for 2022.
2022.
Next year. Everybody is saying in housing, continued appreciation, continued fast pace, continued now. Obviously, interest rates are probably going to rise, right, Bruce?
They're going to rise for sure.
It's going to slow it.
You're starting to see them go up already. We had a lost
choppy week. Yeah,
had a choppy week this week, and I've been telling folks that.
Yeah,
right. But you're going to see that in 2022 because Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, has just been appointed a new. He got his job. He kept his job.
Yep.
Right, and he has said, our tapering is absolutely
so the government's not helping hold those rates low.
Well, they're
not as much.
That's right. They're almost not at all. They're going to pull completely out. They're only buying, I think, $4 billion a month right now, where they were doing $10 billion. I think they're planning on being. They said they announced earlier this week that they were going to accelerate their tapering even more, which causes interest rates to go up.
But in this market, I mean, and here's the other thing. This is all the global or national people out here talking about real estate, the National Association of Realtors Economists, the head of Century 21, the head of CoreLogic, real estate research, the head of Zillow and Redfin, and all these people putting out their numbers, and because they see sales on a nationwide basis. Central Florida, I'm your expert in Central Florida. It is going to keep going because even if the nation slows down, our economy's better, our governor's better. But Central Florida, people move here from the rest of Florida because we are less expensive.
Absolutely,
they
move here from other states.
I used to think Orlando's a small city, but it's let's say we're a medium-sized city. But the rest of the Florida along the coast is very expensive. Sprawled out. Expensive. I mean, God, if you're stuck on I-75 or I-95 up and down the east or west coast, it's expensive. Tampa, getting pretty expensive.
Tampa is very expensive.
They're ahead of our market, and they don't have.
Well, they're a bigger city than we are.
Yeah, and so, but all these things contribute to Central Florida, and we're not jammed up against the coast. We have no natural boundaries to keep us from growing. And you look at our loop, we've almost got, pretty soon, I think maybe next year they'll complete. We'll have a loop around town. The 417 will be complete all the way around town, the 429. And now the growth is outside of those boundaries.
Absolutely.
The land's being cleared. They're not slowing down with that.
Out there, out in the outskirts are now becoming more of the norm. I'm seeing
official outlook for 2022. Continued appreciation. I'm not going to quote the amount because I really don't know. It's really different whatever price range you're in. That starter home price range.
We don't care if it listen, even if we only got 3% appreciation, which we're getting, 5 times that amount, but even at 3% appreciation, you're making money in real estate. That's what we need.
Yep.
Right. So if you have any questions, you'd like to talk to us, you'd like to get pre-approved for financing, you can call the Lone Ranger at 407-250-9144. 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. If you'd like to reach Cleve, he can be reached at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. Now, Cleve, we're talking about a shortage of rental properties.
Yep.
So when it comes to a shortage of rental properties, that means that if you are a landlord, you can increase your rents. You're going to increase your rents.
You should
increase your rents to keep up with the times, and you can amass wealth by becoming a landlord. But don't get caught up in these fancy seminars.
No.
We teach a wealth building home buying class.
Buy and hold real estate. We're not flippers.
But when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about what rents are doing and why you should commit to becoming a homeowner in 2022. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of Cleve Loveland and the Lone Ranger Radio Show. 407-352-8118 for Cleve or 407-250-9144 for the Lone Ranger.
And we are back on the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate, alongside the Lone Ranger. And we are giving you all of your real estate and mortgage news, how to sell a house, how to buy a house, how to coordinate that process if you're doing both, how to become a homeowner, how to become a landlord. All of these things, you can call us and ask us these questions. I'm at 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com or lovelandreport.com. Bruce, your numbers?
Yeah, you can reach me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Cleve and I have both been landlords. And I hear
still
people,
are, yeah.
I still are. We hear people go, God, I've heard some horror stories about, people being landlords. Can that happen? It can happen, but it doesn't happen if you do the right things and vet the right people.
And I can manage the property for you. When you hear those stories, usually 99% of the time, I can track down the problem. And usually it was the upfront credit check or
the income
or
check.
A family member.
Right.
And things do happen to people. But even during COVID, Bruce, I didn't have any evictions.
No.
And I
didn't either.
I had 2 or 3 people a little slow, and I worked with them. But that was
I actually
certainly
had
very
no
unusual
slows
circumstances.
And no one didn't pay rent. Not one person.
And you've got to be. When it's professionally managed, it's a semi-passive investment. Your money in your 401k is usually passive. You might talk to your planner about it once in a while. But rental properties should be semi-passive. I might call you and say, hey, I think the dishwasher's about done. Let's get them a new dishwasher because they're about ready to renew the lease, and I know I'm going to raise the rent on them. But when the nightmare stories you hear is when somebody doesn't crack down on late payments, doesn't crack down on not being paid at all. They might be paying, but maybe they're not paying you at all. Doesn't crack down on not taking care of the property. And this is what we do as professional managers.
And if you don't have, I've had people say, hey, I really feel bad for this family. Mm-hmm. So
it's not about that.
And what you've done is you have made it an emotional investment and not a business investment. You cannot behave that way. And I'm going to tell you, the first time you let your person go late means that
they'll be late every single time after that.
Every single time after that. So it's like today's favor is tomorrow's job. So as soon as you give them that leeway, you're toast.
Give an inch, they'll take a mile. The other thing I see, Bruce, is people will bring me the house and they're renting it out for $1,200 a month, and they have the same. I can always tell when they say, "Oh, I've had the same tenant for 17 years."
Right.
Well, that means
and they really pay their rent on time.
They're paying $19.99.
Of course
rent.
they do,
yes.
because you're paying $500, $700 a month
and
less
you wouldn't
than you should
have,
be paying.
You wouldn't want to have your money in a 1% CD when your financial planner might be able to make you 3 or 4% and then something else safe.
It's funny how when you say that, because it's so true. We see people that are so conscientious about their investments, about where they put their money, how much they spend for things, and yet they're willing to look the other way when it comes to increasing rents for their tenants. I don't understand that. I treat my rental properties as a business.
It's a business
for my retirement.
You get personal, you will lose money.
You will lose money.
Give to your charity, give it to your church, not to your tenant.
It's funny. I have a client right now. She's been through our wealth building class. She's closing on her 4th property. She called me the other day. She says, I want to buy multifamily homes for people that need government assistance. I went, run from that as fast as you can.
I know who you're talking about. She did
you
not ask me that.
You are going to set yourself up for disaster. Listen, you want to be charitable? I'm charitable. Listen, I give a lot of money away to my charities, but I'm not charitable with my retirement. I'm charitable with my income. I can give it away, but I don't have to give it away to where it's putting me in the poorhouse, and that will put you in the poorhouse. And here's the analogy. I have been very poor in my life before. I had no money. I had no food, and I'm going to tell you something. You know what else I didn't do? I didn't give money to charity when I had no money.
Yeah.
So when you have money, you're able to be more charitable.
Yeah.
When you don't have money, you are the charity.
Yeah, run it like a business, or let me run it for you. If you're having trouble with tenants right now that aren't paying you, they're paying you late, not paying you at all. There's 7 cars in the driveway. There's 3 pit bulls in the backyard. It shouldn't be there. Call me. I will help you manage that professionally. It's what we do. We've got over 80 properties we manage, and it's just I take care of them. And the sellers, and I have a conference with them each year. We sit down and discuss, okay, how much longer are we going to rent this? Are we going to buy your next one? Do you want another one? Okay, this one's in kind of the neighborhood's not appreciating. The house has a bunch of problems coming down the pipe in the next 5 years. Why don't we 1031 exchange that for another one? It's like I am a real estate planner. Just like you got a financial planner, you need a real estate planner and a mortgage planner in your portfolio, that's what Bruce and I can do. You can call me at 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com.
And if you want to learn how to buy property, we do investment loans here. We do secondary residences here. We do primary residences here. I can help you with all of that. All you have to do is give me a call or text me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Or you can apply online at webringyouhome.com. You want to win a pair of tickets to the K92 All-Star Jam next Friday. I've got 2 pair of tickets that I'm going to give away. If you have to text me at 407-250-9144, text the Loan Arranger for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the All-Star Jam if you're interested. Now, interest rates went up a little bit this week, okay? But rents went up even higher. Isn't that interesting? So your rents are going up. We want to help more people get out of renting a home, and I'm committed. This is my commitment for 2022. It's in my goals. I want to set a record this year of helping more first-time home buyers than I've ever helped before. We have 0 down payment VA loans.
Yep.
We have 0 down payment USDA loans.
Yep.
We have 3% down conventional first-time home buyer loans. We've got 3.5% FHA loans. Now with the limit at $420,000, you can buy a $438,000 house with an FHA loan. You have no excuse to be a renter any longer.
So I'm thinking with $15,000, and they got the income to show, if they can save $15,000, they could buy a house.
Absolutely.
And here's the first part. Let's say your rent is $2,000. Save $2,300. I mean, if you can afford to pay $2,500, put that $500 away. Put money in your savings account. If they can save that money, everybody counts on their tax refund, which would help.
So yep, and that's something we have to talk about because everybody's going to have a tax refund in the next 3 months.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody that's getting a W-2. Now, don't try to trick the system and show that you got 45 kids and not paying any taxes. That tax money will be yours and you can use it to buy a home. Use your tax refund to buy a home. There's only a couple of reasons why people rent. Nobody goes, wow, I'm really proud of being a renter.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says that. They may allude to that because they're afraid. Mm-hmm. They're afraid that they don't qualify, they don't have the income, they don't have the credit, or they don't have the asset. Okay? That's why they're afraid. The asset can be obtained by a couple of reasons. You're going to get your tax refund. You can borrow from your 401k, or you can get a gift from a family member. If you have adult children or grandchildren, don't wait till you die to give them all your money. They're just going to go out and buy a Harley and a Boston Whaler.
Yeah, yep.
They're going to spend your money, your hard-earned retirement money, frivolously. You can control that and create a legacy of wealth by helping your children or grandchildren become homeowners.
Yep.
Help them now. Credit, we got credit repair programs we can help anybody with, right?
And I think the best credit repair out there you can do, pay your bills on time. How about
Pay
that?
your bills on time and keep your credit card balances low.
Yep.
It's pretty simple.
You're going to be in the 600s if you do that.
You'll be in your 600s or 700s, right?
Yep.
So, look, we're committed to helping more people become first-time home buyers, or learn how to amass wealth in real estate by buying a home as a primary, turning around and renting that home out. Call Cleve. He'll get you set up to go look at properties. You can reach him at 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com, or get qualified right now, today. Stop the car, pull the lawnmower over, park that vacuum cleaner, and go online to webringyouhome.com and do an application right away. webringyouhome.com.
I want to mention something about new construction, Bruce. Big part of our market. And usually about a third of the homes sold, maybe 25%, a quarter of the homes sold are new homes in Central Florida.
Right.
Now, that's probably dropped because of the supply chain and all of the problems they're having. They were having trouble getting lumber. Lumber skyrocketed. But do you think for 2022, have any of the builders sent out a notice to you saying, oh, by the way, we're going to drop our prices back to 2019?
Not one of them are dropping prices.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Not one of them have dropped prices. Now, the price of lumber did settle down, but it didn't come back to where it was.
No, it didn't.
So the prices have settled a little bit. I mean, we saw during the year, I think it was around June, several of the builders just raised their prices by 35 grand right off.
Yeah.
Right off.
And they're not going to lower those back down. They've got, most of them probably have 50 to 100 people waiting on homes. And they've been having to ration, say, all right, we'll release 8 lots this month. And they're not just saying, okay, the first come, first serve. They're saying, who wants to pay the most for these 8 lots? Yeah. And they're taking bids on those.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to the Oros boys just this week who own and run Hanover Family Builders, my all-time favorite builder, 18 communities throughout Central Florida. They'll pay your closing costs by using the loan arranger. They were telling me that they are doing 100 new construction starts per month right now. 100 per month.
Wow.
One builder. They're just a local builder.
Yeah.
Now, they're not as big as like the DRs or the Lennars.
Yeah, they're nationwide, yeah.
But because Hanover's just
Central Florida, yeah.
Just Central Florida, 100 starts per month. That is the best builder, best quality, best follow-up of any production builder that I know. If you'd like to see one of their properties, Cleve can show you their properties.
Yeah.
You know their properties.
I just passed a couple of their signs. They got a couple new ones coming up in some hot corridors in Central Florida.
They absolutely do.
Lake Nona's built out. It's all full.
Yeah.
But I saw a couple of their signs pop up in that corridor between Mount Dora and Apopka.
Absolutely.
Like the last bit of Orange County that's not built in. They got one in by the Sanford Airport, I think.
Yes, they do. Celery Oaks over there off 415.
So,
beautiful community.
Yeah, that corridor there, Lake Mary Boulevard's growing all the way out through Osteen. Central Florida's just not stopping. Prices are not going to come down. You need to buy a house in 2022. You need to buy another house in 2022. If you already have your first one, we'll make you a landlord. And show you how to get wealthy with real estate
and be successful at it too. Because Cleve and I we've made our mistakes and we've had our successes. We'll share that with you. We're here to help you build real estate. Listen, we don't have anything to sell you. The house will sell itself, and I'm going to provide the financing for it. Cleve will help hook you up with the right price. And here's what Cleve and his team do well. I'm going to tell you something, and I say this in the most sincere way I possibly can. I've worked with both of his buyer's agents. I love Michael. I love Nanette. But I got to tell you something. Nanette is one of the best negotiators for a buyer's agent of any of the real estate agents that I know out there. So if you want somebody that's going to work for you and negotiate for you, Cleve and his team have got the skills to do it. Call him at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. He'll help you into that first house. Get approved for your mortgage in advance because you're going to run up against multiple offers.
Just about.
Right? You're going to run up against multiple offers. If the house is priced right, you're going to be up against 4 or 5 other people wanting the same
And this
house.
is the thing. Don't be scared to pay over list price. And what you do after that is you backpedal. You ask for more money off on the inspection. You backpedal your appraisal if it doesn't come in. You'll know if there was other offers. If you ask the seller for $10,000 off and they say no, you know there are other offers.
Absolutely.
There's other people willing to buy that house for the price you paid.
But let me get you fully approved, not pre-qualified, not pre-approved, but fully approved so you can make a better offer. Call me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. Here's what I do for my buyers and why they get chosen more often than an average buyer that got pre-approved by their credit union, their bank, or their Rocket or somebody. You know why? Because I call the listing agent. Yep. But if you're fast-tracked with me, I will pay the seller up to $500 a day for every day we miss the closing. Go out and find another lender that'll do that. Why do you think I do that, Cleve?
Because you know the loan's going to close.
I've already got it approved.
Yep.
If I've already got you approved, the only thing that could fall out in that is if you lost your job or you died.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't lose your job and don't die.
All right.
And we're going to get to closing. 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com, CleveLoveland.com or 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118 for Cleve Loveland and his team. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Radio Show.
And we are back with Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate. That's me, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. Look up and down the street. Chances are I've helped sell, buy that house, help manage it, or Bruce has done a mortgage on it. We are back for our final segment. I got a couple of emails here I want to cover quickly. One of the biggest questions I get, one of the biggest ripoffs in the world I see, is when people are convinced to pay people to rent furniture to stage their home and pay a stager, and they end up with this house that isn't selling and $500 or $700 a month and renting cheap furniture. And I can look at a house and say, this is what we need to do to stage this correctly. And staging is usually just decluttering. I've got a 50-point staging checklist that costs you nothing. I give you that free when I come visit the home. Staging might be a coat of paint. Staging might be getting the carpets clean. Staging might be getting a storage unit. Staging might be getting rid of getting everything boxed up in the garage.
Even if you got paid a stager, they want to get your junk out of there and get the new stuff in there.
I can show you all that.
You don't need to do that.
But most stagers are unemployed realtors. So it's just they couldn't sell a house, and now they're trying to rent furniture. So I firmly disagree with paying to have having property staged. Now, one exception, new construction.
Well,
the builders
new construction
need that.
has to. They have to make the models. But nowadays, you see, instead of them having 6 models all staged, they may have 2.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. They got 2, and that's it. And if you want to see new construction, Hanover Family Builders, my all-time favorite builder, just call me at 407-250-9144. I'll connect you with the right community in the area that you want to buy in and get your closing costs paid at the same time, and you get to reuse the Lone Ranger. If you're a real estate agent, stop into a Hanover Family Builder community and say, the Lone Ranger sent me here, and get to know the community. I promise you, once you see the community, you're going to want to sell their houses. You can always check with me or go to their website at HanoverFamilyBuilds.com or go to my website at WeBringYouHome.com. Cleve also can show you any builder in town's property.
Yeah.
You have the ability to do that. Now, did they pay you extra for you to show a builder community?
It doesn't cost the buyer extra.
Doesn't cost the buyer a darn penny.
And new construction, it is beautiful. There are some great things. The communities have some great amenities nowadays. But you're probably going to be waiting 5 to 12 months, depending on what it is.
Unless it's an inventory, and even an inventory can take you 3
and
4
now the
months.
good thing, you got it's new. It's like a new car. You can, it's not like a car. I guess you drive a new car off the lot, it's going to lose value.
Right.
But the house, not that way. The builder's going to be in the neighborhood. By the time your new home is finished and the builder's still in the neighborhood, I guarantee you their prices have been raised.
Oh my gosh, I closed a Hanover Family Builder last week. The guy went into contract 9 months ago. He closed last week. Property appraised for $50,000 over purchase price.
So the builders know their market, and what's funny is part of the reason we're in a supply problem with builders right now is they were hurt in 2008, 9, and 10. They've been underbuilding. They used to have 10 homes sitting on the shelf when you walked in the neighborhood.
Right.
They had, I think the most I ever saw builders have was 5 or 6 or 7 at different stages. They weren't finished and ready for people to move into. They changed their way of doing business. They just, I don't want to say they got caught with their pants down, but COVID was just unbelievably out of nowhere, right. Next to aliens landing on, on the steps of the Capitol. I don't know what else could have happened. It could have slowed us down.
That happened.
Did aliens landing on the steps of the Capitol?
I think so. Listen, if you've got any questions or you'd like to get pre-approved for your financing or you'd like to have a realtor represent you as a buyer or give you an evaluation on what your home's worth and how to get the most for it, call Cleve at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. Or if you'd like to get approved for your financing, if you'd like to make sure that you get the best mortgage that you could possibly have, I'm a national lender. I'm in all 50 states. I can help you anywhere you want to buy. And I promise you, you're always going to get the best loan, the best service, and the best rate. And you know what? That's funny because banks have also, they got good rates too, but their service level is horrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And that's why real estate agents don't typically refer people. You call the Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger, local guy, closed over 10,000 transactions, been in the business for 32 years. I am committed to making sure you have the best mortgage. Go to WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com or 407-250-9144. We'll be back next week.
Thanks for listening.
And enjoy your Saturday and tune into my show tomorrow on Sunday.